Good afternoon, everybody. I wish I could say that things have gotten better since the last video I made. It's simply not true. Where are we at in America right now? Most people don't even understand what's going on. Those who do understand, those who do to an extent understand, don't know what to do, don't know what actions to take. And I can relate with that myself, because it's hard to figure out what sort of action to take. But at this point, if what's going on in the United States right now is not front and center, occupying your mind 24 hours a day, something's probably wrong. In America right now, we are witnessing our Germany moment. We are witnessing our Soviet Union moment. And that's not hyperbolic language. That's not alarmist. It's not simply for shock value. Like, that is 100% truth. That's what's going on right now. I don't know how to say that clearly enough. Our country is, as we speak right now, going through its Germany phase and its Soviet Russia phase. We're steadily being usurped into a collectivist form of government, which takes many shapes: fascism, communism, socialism, you name it. The old system, the system that existed all over the earth until America changed that. America, United States of America, was the first country to break away from the old system. And now they're bringing us right back into the old system. And that's why this is so hard to deal with. People don't even recognize what's happening when it's right before their very eyes. I mean, this is common to an extent. I mean, I think a lot of the Germans didn't really understand what was going on as it was going on. I mean, we're to the point right now. Listen to this. They've given hundreds of millions of dollars to contact tracing firms, okay? Hundreds of millions of dollars. That means they're going to put that money to good use. That means, just like the head of the WHO said when this stuff first kicked off, this is exactly what he said. This is a quote. Look it up on YouTube. He said, this is just the beginning. Eventually, we're going to have to come and monitor your homes and come into your homes and remove you for quarantine. Okay? Now, you can talk all day about, yeah, but we're not in the WHO anymore, all that stuff. At this point, it doesn't matter. We have governors doing all the dirty work for a system of collectivism. So honestly, it doesn't matter what you think about the WHO. It doesn't matter what you think about Trump, for those on the left who say Trump is, modern day dictator and whatnot. Let's just forget about all of that for a second. It's your local governors who are really imposing all this. It's not coming from the federal government. Federal government definitely played a huge role in a lot of this, but it's actually your local governors who are imposing all these authoritarian rules on you. So regardless of what form it ends up taking, the end is the same. We are being absorbed into a collectivist system that does not respect your individual rights. This is all to condition you. You got a virus out there, which is real. It's a real virus. But how's it being used? How's it being used right now? It's being used to take every last bit of freedom that you have. And nobody is putting up not even an ounce of fight, for the most part. Small groups of people here and there. But not the outrage you would expect to see in the United States of America. I mean, my God, we established ourselves as the freest nation, a nation that respects individual rights, you know, and they're all being taken right now. And it's very, very problematic because people are too apathetic about the situation. Way too much apathy. Just like I said, even the people that understand, like, oh, this doesn't look good, they're still sitting on the sidelines. And you can sit there all day and be like, oh yeah, well, you know, I'm gonna do something if it comes to my front door. Well, if it comes to your front door, which it is going to, but if it gets to that point, we lost already. If it gets to that point, we're done. I question whether or not America's done already right now. We're certainly done if people don't start doing something. And I think number one is to get educated on what's going on. It's not that hard to figure out. It's really not. It's all out in the open. Every last bit of it. I mean, you have governors right now setting up checkpoints now. Health checkpoints. This goes hand in hand with the BBC article that came out about a week ago talking about what's the future of travel look like. Well, the future of travel looks like you being screened for any type of health ailment. You see, this was all about getting your health into the hands of a government authority. That's what it was. Health collectivism. There's other agendas attached to it. That's one of them. Your health is no longer a personal matter. It is the matter of the collective. That's what they want. Universal health care. Well, here you go. Here you go. So they got that going for them. You know, in the BBC article, it said you will now have to have your temperature screened. You will have to go through another little COVID checkpoint where you blow into a little breathalyzer and it's going to screen you for any type of viruses and whatnot. I mean, we're going into a medical dictatorship. That's how they bring it in. It's always brought in under the guise of necessity. It's how they operate. The days of storming your town or city on horseback with spears and whatnot and swords, yeah, that's long gone, okay? Warfare has morphed into different systems. They don't generally try to rule with an iron fist anymore. That causes, too many red flags, causes too much resistance. So they use quiet weapons for silent wars, or silent weapons for quiet wars. Look that up sometime, because that's how they do it nowadays. It's all psychological warfare. It's all fear-based, trauma-based. That's how they control you, through fear. That's why you can have a virus that literally has a 99.8 or better survival rate, and they got everyone shaking in their boots over it. Like, you're probably more likely to die from a coconut falling on your head than you are from this virus, in actuality. But the media, who they own and control, can drum up all this fear and make you sit there and clamor and just do whatever you're told. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. What won't you accept under the guise of COVID-19? Is there anything you won't accept under the guise of COVID-19? Because you're accepting checkpoints now. New York now has checkpoints. Checkpoints in America. Show me your papers. Show me you're clean. Show me where you're from in America. You know, America, land of the free, home of the brave. That America. Yeah, now we have checkpoints in America. All under the guise of COVID-19, which has a 99.8 or higher survival rate. Tuberculosis last year killed orders of magnitude higher than COVID-19. But nobody freaked out. Nobody said, oh my God, we got to keep our kids out of school. Nobody forced you to shut down your businesses. Nobody did any of that. Why is that? Surely they knew about it. Why is that? It's because this has been an agenda. This is not organic. This did not just happen. For Christ's sake, they write papers on this stuff. When I say they, I'm talking about the people who own the foundations. I'm talking about your Bill Gates. I know it's become a cliche now. Bill Gates has basically become a meme. Well, guess what? He's largely behind all this stuff. People like Bill Gates, okay? They have foundations. How many people know that they practiced this event that's going on right now, this COVID-19? 3 months before it happened, they practiced this. They had a dress rehearsal for this 3 months before it happened. Sounds crazy, right? Oh, that can't be true. No, it's 100% true, and they've even admitted it in mainstream newspapers. But see, that's what they do. They tell you a big lie, right? They make it so big that you can't refute it. It's psychologically very hard to refute. So say, oh, well, there's no way they would have ran a drill in plain sight for what was about to happen. That's too outlandish. No, that's what they do. That's what they've always done. They write papers on how a pandemic that would come through would be a great opportunity to restructure society. This is back in 2010. Rockefeller Foundation. They write papers on it, on how it would look, what they would do, how they would take China's lead. It's because they're all invested in China. The Democratic Party and some on the right as well have funded China's rise. They were responsible for it, with the end goal of always implementing that system here in America. And now, we as Americans are sitting back, watching it happen before our eyes, but for some reason, we're on the sidelines because we don't have enough intellectual gumption to get out there and study what the hell's going on, and then take action to do something about it. This is your children's future. This is your children's future that's at stake. This is your children, my children, everyone's children's future is at stake right now because we're at a fork in the road. This is not a joke. This is not hyperbole. This is not like alarmism, okay? This is 100% real. Like canary in the coal mine, like, hey, some shit's about to go down. It's like, I'm waking you up while your house is on fire, telling you to get the hell out of the house because it's burning down around you. And most people are just ready to go back to sleep. That's how serious this is in America right now. We have checkpoints in New York. All under the guise of COVID. See, it's always to keep you safe. It's always for your own good. That's how they manipulate you. And quite frankly, I'm getting sick and tired of having to see it go on and recognizing what it is and having the rest of America not understand what's going on. Because it doesn't take a lot of research. If you just sit and actually critically think about some things, you'll understand. Well, let's see. How would I take over a sovereign nation if I wanted to? How would you conquer a sovereign nation that has more guns in it than it does people? How would you conquer that? Would you do it head on? Of course you wouldn't do it head on. That would be retarded. You would do it through psychological means. You would do it through propaganda. You would do it under the veil of legality, which is exactly what they do. They get their people into key positions. It doesn't take a gigantic amount of people to do what they're doing. It takes over a series of years getting people who buy into your agenda and putting them strategically into places where they would have power. Everything is kind of a pyramidal structure in that sense, whether you're talking about a corporation, whether you're talking about whatever it may be. Governmental structure, it's kind of a top-down system, right? So you get people in areas of power where they can influence other larger groups of people who generally just take orders because that's how it works, right? If you work at a corporation, things are coming down to you top down, right? And then you've got some other higher level management who listen to the main boss, and they kind of come together as like a little oligarchy, and then they can hatch ideas, and then they send them down to the lower level management who a lot of times, especially if you've worked at a corporation, a lot of times they think it's stupid what they're being forced to implement on you, but it's coming from someone above them, so they follow along with it. And then you end up out there doing something that makes absolutely no sense because you're the worker on the floor. You end up out there doing something, you're like, why the hell are we doing this? This is actually counterproductive. Yeah. Well, that's the result of your pyramidal structure with people in positions that just follow orders. That's how it works. So that's how we've gotten into these positions that we're in right now. The governor of Michigan, my home state, born and raised in Michigan. The governor in Michigan now has just declared racism a public health crisis. Like, what world are we living in right now? These are the things of authoritarian dictatorships. First off, what the hell are you talking about? Racism's a public health crisis? That alone should send red flags just screaming up the pole. What the hell are you talking about? But it doesn't need to make sense. They have a list of goals in their agenda, which this all comes, I've talked about this before. I want to make sure I cover it very slowly. This all comes from United Nations Agenda 21. That's a real thing you can go look up on United Nations website. Type in Agenda 21. It's all public. And Agenda 2030. These are United Nations programs. They're very clear in what their objectives are. And then you get people in power who have allegiance to that United Nations agenda and not to the United States of America. That's what we're dealing with right here. So from the inside, the United States has been taken over, it's been hollowed out, and replaced with foreign invaders, for lack of a better term. Yeah, they are enemies domestic, technically speaking, but their allegiance is foreign. They have no allegiance to the United States of America. These people have allegiance to the United Nations and their agenda, and it's time for people to start waking the hell up and taking this seriously because they have checkpoints on the roads in America now. Health checkpoints for your own good, for your own safety, where you got to show them your papers in order to come through and travel in the United States of America right now. That's happening in the United States of America right now. Okay? So we can play this game where we're like, oh, it'll get better. No, it's not going to get better. Do you know how much tyranny you will live under? It was said by the Founding Fathers. You know how much tyranny you will live under? As much as you put up with. It doesn't stop until we put a stop to it. Now, what does that stop look like? I don't know. I'm not here to say what that stop looks like. I think we can all agree we would love to avoid a violent revolution. We would love to avoid that. I would definitely love to avoid that. It's not a call to violence or anything by any means. That being said, where is your line in the sand? Because they're not going to stop. First, it's checkpoints. Then it's random home inspections. In California, they locked down a housing unit, an apartment complex. They locked an apartment complex down in California, would not let the residents in or out, and forced them to be tested for COVID-19. Forced everyone. So, one size fits all. Here's your government mandate on your medical procedure. You're going to do this. We got armed guards out there. You're not leaving your home until you get tested. Folks, come on. We're not living in America anymore. People need to internalize this. We're not living in America anymore. This is not the America that was founded. This is unrecognizable from what this country was founded on. Individual freedom, liberty, and, the responsibility to make your own decisions. Okay? That doesn't exist anymore. And it's all done under the cover of this virus that when you look into, both Fauci and Gates have invested money into the vaccine that they want you to take. Okay? Fauci owns the patent on COVID-19, and then he's able to make tons of money through the development of a vaccine, because that's how it works. A lot of people don't understand how that works. We fund Fauci through the NIH with our tax dollars, and then he gets to capitalize on things he creates. He gets to patent things and then capitalize on things that he created with our tax dollars and enrich himself off it. Not to mention that during the Obama administration, he and Obama shipped the coronaviruses that were being studied that many scientists had a moratorium on. They had a vote. They said it was too dangerous to continue studying these coronaviruses and adding gain of function, which makes them more virulent. That was put to an end. So you know what Fauci did? He simply shipped it to Wuhan, China, and had them continue doing the research. We're in dire times right now, everybody. Like, people need to take that and internalize it. It's hard to understand. It's hard to integrate that into your everyday life, that right now we are in a point in history that America has never been in. We're being taken over by authoritarianism. We're having our Germany moment. We're having our Soviet Russia moment. Right now, it's actually for real happening. And my God, we're Americans. Are we going to stand for this? Are we going to allow this to happen? As of now, it looks like yes. I can't believe it. So get out there and raise awareness. I mean, it's not too late. We have to raise awareness. We have to come together on this. We have got to get this conversation going. And people, you just need to not be lazy and do the research. It's happening right now. Our children's futures are being stolen from them right now, as we speak. Very serious matter right now. And we can do something about it if we all get in our minds and internalize the fact that this is not right. You know, this is something that's never happened before in America. They're doing it under the guise of the COVID stuff. It should tell you right off the bat. You know, they got all these mask mandates. That's to train you to follow orders blindly. I've got half a dozen peer-reviewed studies that I can refer to right now that says wearing a mask does nothing to stop viruses at all. It does nothing. In fact, the cloth ones make you more susceptible. That's peer-reviewed studies, flat out. They don't work, okay? The masks do nothing except train you to blindly follow orders. train you to get in lockstep with a collectivist system. You're now not an individual, you are now part of the collective. Okay, that's what the whole mask thing is, and we need to be taking a stand on that. Arm yourself with the peer-reviewed studies. They're all over the place out there. Search them up. If I'd have been prepared, I'd leave you the links right now. I'm not prepared. I do have them in a previous email where I got them all together and saved them. So these are peer-reviewed studies, some not even more than about a month old. So, these are new studies too. We're being trained right now. Now, that on top of the BLM stuff, okay, it's a two-pronged approach, right? You always have a two-pronged approach in warfare. It's better to confuse the subject, and they're open about what they're doing. BLM is openly a Marxist organization who wants to end the family. This is not about true racial equality or anything like that, okay? Once again, these go back to the United Nations Agenda 21 goals. One of their goals is racial equity. Not equality, but equity. That means basically reparations, cutting down this privileged class of white people so we can give something to another class who we say has, is still being oppressed to this day. Now listen, you can argue back and forth. You can have arguments about what needs to be done. That's not the point of this video. The point of this video is BLM ain't it. It doesn't even stand for what it says it stands for. That's the whole main point right here. It's a Marxist organization set up to infiltrate the United States, and it does it under the cover of racial equality. So we got the COVID thing right now, and that they're using to get you to accept collectivism, and then they got all the BLM riots and stuff like that, which they're using to, bring in this Marxist style of red terror that they've done in other countries when communism was taking over. It's meant to scare you. It's meant to get you to not do anything. I think they've seen that hasn't really worked to their benefit. You got an idiot Antifa member with an AK-47 approaching cars, and he gets shot and killed, which he should have. That's retarded. That's being an idiot. But in a lot of these situations, you've got the judges who are bought off and funded by these members, Soros and whatnot, that they want to prosecute the people who are defending themselves. So the system is entirely corrupt. All the Marxist players have been put into positions. It's time to start taking this stuff seriously and doing something about it. We're losing our country before our eyes. America's going out with a whimper instead of a bang. It's disturbing. It's disturbing to watch this. And to be helpless because there's only power in numbers. That's why we got to keep talking about it. We got to keep talking about it. This silent majority, where are you at? It's time to not be silent anymore. It's time to actually get together and make some change for the better. That's all I got for you right now, guys. Share the video, thumbs up, like, subscribe. To my 17 subscribers out there, hey, rock on. It ain't much. It's kind of laughable, but whatever. If I can, here's my thing. I don't give a damn how many subscribers I ever get. If I could reach more people, that'd be great. If I'm reaching even a handful of people, that's the opportunity for a seed to be planted somewhere, an opportunity to spark some sort of action out of somebody. That's the thing. It doesn't take a lot once you decide that you're going to take some sort of action. You might even think the action you're taking isn't having an effect. But if we all take some sort of action, regardless how big or small, it will have a net benefit. People just got to get off your asses and just do something. Keep the conversation going. Raise awareness. Confront people, and not violently, but confront people with information, real information. Have discussions with people. We're to that point to stop sitting around. Something has to be done. All right, I'm going to stop talking now because this is going on too long, but just please get out and do something. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. I care about this country. I know you care about this country. It's time to take action. It's time to do something about it. Have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you later. See you in the next video.